Hello, everyone. I'm Dijon,
I'm Ira.
I'm Bree.
and welcome to the Mustardcast, the podcast about the art of storytelling and how it's used across different mediums. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see our channel grow, and to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. As always, free Palestine. Once again, there are rumors of a ceasefire. Um, Hopefully, it happens, but even if it does,
This is like the
that's
third
yeah.
attempt, right?
Even if it
Oh my god.
happens, it's still not the end. So keep supporting Palestine, even if this ceasefire does actually happen this time.
hmm
But what cartoons have you guys been watching lately? Why don't you start us off, Bree?
So I haven't really been watching much, but I have been watching a little bit of the Venture Bros. I don't know if you like remember that from I think it was like Adult Swim it used to come on.
I mean, I don't know if it's still airing or it ended recently, but it's like it ran for a long time.
It,
Mm-hmm.
it's good. It's good. I like it a lot. Very funny.
Definitely a great show. I'm a big Venture Bros head. You're seen.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much. But that's about it for cartoons. I haven't had like much time to like really sit and like find something new to watch, cartoon wise.
Yeah, 7 seasons in a movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, last
I didn't know
season.
there's a movie actually.
Last season was 2018.
You know, it's not too old actually.
Yeah, the movie came out 2023.
Oh,
Mm.
why
Oh
didn't I
wow.
see anything about this?
Right.
Know what it is, what it is.
How about you, Ayer?
Um, I've been catching up on which has been really nice. I have one more episode to go. Well, I guess an episode and a half. Because I was watching last night really early in the morning and then went to sleep. um, so I have to rewatch like part of episode 11 and then episode 12. Um, yeah, catching up on I've been on a bit of like a nostalgic Nick kick lately, so I've been watching like people like upload like whole blocks of like Nicktoons to YouTube, like commercials and all. And I've been really into those lately. So like a lot of your I'm trying to think what used to air on Nicktoons in the
Was
2000s.
Invader Zim
I'm
on Nick?
watching it. Yeah, Invader Zim, your Avatar, like random Avatar episodes and stuff like that. A
SpongeBob,
lot
Danny
of
Phantom.
Halloween. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Danny Phantom especially I've been on a kick for. I don't know what's been making me want to watch it recently, but I have been, and I
Making a
forgot how much I
comeback.
liked it. It is, and you know what? I'm glad about it because Danny Phantom is one of the best cartoons of our generation. Although the ending, I watched the last two episodes, the Phantom Planet special. It's just as bad as I remember, um, unfortunately. But little black stain in the course of like an actually pretty great TV show, all things considered. So I don't mind it too much. But other than that, that's been it.
But yeah, for me, still watching Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I recently watched the penultimate episode of the series alongside Blind Wave, and there's one left, and then I'll be moving on to Justice League, the animated series, and watching that alongside them. I'm not going to be also doing my own rewatch beside them this time because I rewatched it a couple years ago, but long and close enough that I don't feel like rewatching it again. So I'll just watch that one alongside them, and I've seen it plenty of times. Still watching Batman Beyond, both finishing my rewatch and watching alongside Blind Wave. And I'm watching
Mm,
One Piece alongside Blind Wave, which I'm an insane person watching one episode of One Piece every week. Um,
that's crazy.
and I need to catch up on the manga, so I'll get there eventually. Ranma One Half season 2 of the remake started airing, and an episode came out yesterday, but I forgot to watch it. But I watched the first episode, and it was good. It's a faithful remake. So it's doing all of the things that the original did for better or for worse.
Mm,
Because this is a rom com shonen from the late '80s and the '90s. So definitely outdated in a lot of ways, and then certain humor
mm,
that makes you go, "Oh my god, this is wild." Very much a time capsule, and of
mm.
anime to have an older anime like this be remade so faithfully. Well, yeah, that's all I have. Moving on to some trailers and news. New York Comic Con is happening as we record this episode. So we will be discussing a ton of announcements from the events in this episode throughout all of the sections. But we'll be starting with animation. Now this trailer didn't come out at Comic Con, but they are at Comic Con, and this is being shown off to an extent at Comic Con and talked about there, and that is the Mighty Nine. The first trailer for Critical Role's next animated series, which is an adaptation of their second campaign. The Mighty Nine follows a group of fugitives and outcasts, bound by secrets and scars. But when a powerful arcane relic known as the Beacon falls into dangerous hands, they must learn to work together to save the realm to save the realm and stop reality itself from unraveling. It will be releasing November 19th of this year, 2025. So before The Legend of Vox Machina Season 4, which comes out early next year in 2026, which is interesting. And Vox Machina is ending with Season 5, and then, it'll just be the Mighty Nine from that point forward. So yeah, I'm excited for this. Vox Machina just kept getting better and better with each season. Did you manage to finish the last season, Nair?
Still haven't watched it. I completely forgot that Vox Machina was a thing.
Oh yeah,
but now I have something to watch after I finish Countdown.
Yeah.
I have to watch it from the beginning because I came in on the last season and I was like, "What the heck is going on? This is awesome." Listen, I walked in on people watching it, so I was like, "Let me sit and see what this is about." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this eats! This is awesome."
Yeah, it's really good. It started off.
So I gotta go back and watch the beginning.
Yeah, it started off as like a Kickstarter campaign, and then it got picked up by Amazon, and then the first season was successful, so they got bigger budget for the second season, and just kept getting better from there. And now they're starting the second campaign as the animated series, Mighty Nine, and I'm excited to watch that. Next, we have a rarity. We got a trailer that was sent to me or to us in the Mustardcast Discord by Iera. We got a trailer for Trigun Stargaze, which is releasing in January 2026. And it's always weird to me when something's coming out that soon and you don't give us a specific date. How are things that uncertain when we're that close? But
right.
Yeah, very excited for this. I give Studio Orange a lot of shit for not finishing Beastars, but they've got their hands full with both Beastars and Trigun. Studio Orange they do 3D anime like no other, and the animation looks like it's going to be just as beautiful this season as the last. Feel free to check out the trailer in the background on me while we talk about it, Bree, because you have to see what this looks like. This Trigun series has been more of a reimagining of the story than the more faithful adaptation that people were hoping for when this was first announced. But it's still good nonetheless. My biggest criticism was the characterization of Vash, and how he's so openly depressed in Stampede when he's supposed to be hiding it behind goofy antics up until the very end of the first part of the series. And then, in the second part of the series in Maximum, he's just full on depressed at the beginning.
Everything,
and then he starts to get back to his goofy self, but he's no longer kind of hiding the sadness. But I feel like they get to that point way too fast in Stampede. But Stargaze will be adapting Trigun Maximum, which I need to finish rereading and / finishing, because I never finished Maximum, but I read the vast majority of it, except the last 2, I think, volumes. And once again,
those are the best ones.
I might just end up just getting them physically or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because they've re-released them in big 10 bonds now, but they are $50 a piece, which is kind of ridiculous, but it's the only way to read it physically now, because capitalism sucks.
Because capitalism.
I have the first one, and I've been planning on getting the rest. I just haven't gotten around to it. But if I get it, like the rest of the Tenkyo bonds before you do, you can borrow mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how you feeling about this trailer?
See, I have mixed feelings. Because like on the one hand, I'm like, I'm very excited for Stargaze. I'm happy that it's coming out so soon and stuff. But on the same token, I feel like they're taking all like the grit and grime out of Trigun. Like I feel like they're leaning too hard into the space part of the space western. And like a
Yeah,
big
I see that.
part of that for me is like Vash's design for Stargaze didn't really change that much. Like I was expecting it to get
It's just
a
his
little
hair.
closer to Trimax because like yeah, it's literally just his hair. And then like there was like they made a whole big thing, especially like in the manga, of Vash receiving a new coat because of what happened to his old one. And like it's a big thing. It's supposed to be indicative of character growth, but it's like that didn't happen here. And I'm a little disappointed. I'm also kind of disappointed that they thinned Millie out a little bit because she's supposed to be way broader than that.
Yeah, she also, I don't
But
know.
we have Millie.
It's hard to gauge her height, but she doesn't feel as tall as she should be.
Yeah, like in the concept, or she was taller than everybody, Vash and Wolfwood included, but like in seeing it in animation, I'm like, I'm not sure. And I'm like, her whole thing is that she's supposed to be ginormous,
So I hear.
but
I'm on the Dark Horse website looking at the Trigun hardcovers, and
hmm
I don't like omnibuses because they tend to be too big and bulky. I don't like
right.
super thick books. So if I get an omnibus of
Makes sense.
something, it's going to be like a shorter series. Like I have an omnibus of Die by Kieran Gillen, and it's not too big.
hmm
These don't look too big, and that makes me want to get them.
They're kind of big. They're kind of big. I'll bring in my first volume and I'll show you so you can get like a better gauge of it. They're kind of big,
Okay,
unfortunately. But it might also just be a thing of the first one because it's combining three in one. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll bring it in, let you take a look at it. But
okay. We'll see.
yeah.
But yeah, I
But
like.
yeah, I'm excited. Oh,
It is definitely
go
leaning
ahead.
more on the sci-fi than the western, and that is very different from the the manga and the original anime. Like the whole aesthetic is, other than it still being in a desert, it is more sci-fi.
It's just like for me personally, I'm here for the Western rather than the space. The space is a backdrop to me,
Yeah,
but hopefully, because I've seen people like theorizing on the internet that they're not showing the actual like final designs yet because they want us to be like surprised about it, but I don't know. That seems like a lot of work
yeah.
for very little
His main design
payoff.
in this is in comparison to his very iconic designs from the manga and the original anime are so boring. Like it
Yeah, it's really boring.
it's too close to something you could wear in real life, and I'm like, nah. Give him that big red
Yeah.
trench coat.
Yeah, no. hmm
Like his design's so good in the comic. Both designs from
It is.
the
Listen,
beginning and from Maximum.
I think, and I don't know if this is a hot take necessarily, but it's a hot take to me. I think he looks his best in the latter half of Maximum. Like the black and blonde hair,
Oh yeah,
the new coat, like it feels the most Vash the Stampede. Like this would be a legendary gunman to me. Maybe not him at the beginning and like in 98 because he's too silly, but like, I don't know. It makes him fit his reputation and I really like that.
yeah. The only thing that makes me like his original design more than the one he gets in Maximum is I don't like the pipes that are like coming out the side. I'm like, I don't like the pipes.
Mm-hmm.
Get those pipes out of here. But otherwise, it's good.
It's like I get why they're there. They're functional, but
But yeah, next we have Invincible season 4. We got a teaser um, for it. It is set to release March of next year in 2026, and they said they'd be more consistent and stop with the mid-season breaks. And so far, they're sticking to it. There wasn't a mid-season break last season. Last season was great. and I can only assume they will never do that again because it was stupid when they did it last time. But this teaser continues the trend of having Mark and another character meet in a diner and have a fourth wall breaking discussion about the production of the upcoming season. And yeah, that's about all it was. A little bit of a teasers of like characters that'll show up. They showed a little bit of concept art. Um, but like the animation in this teaser is always unfortunately better than the animation in the actual show. Um, but when they're pumping them out this fast, you know, there's going to be some concessions in the actual quality of the show itself. Um,
Mhm.
which animation is hard, especially to like try and get it out on a regular basis. So you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those that don't know, before I watched season one, I ran through the Invincible comic, and now it's one of my favorite
I did
comics
too.
of all time. Oh, you read Invincible?
I after like the first season of Invincible, I started looking into the comics, and so I'm very scared for like these next seasons because a lot happens,
Oh, I didn't
a
know you.
lot, and I'm curious on how they're gonna like animate it.
It's good you're on a podcast now, and I have somebody to talk to about Invincible. um, but yeah, I ran through that comic. And I've been rereading it and taking my time this time. And I'm close to finishing it now. And the show has been one of the most faithful comic book adaptations ever made, American comic books specifically. Being more in line with the anime approach of almost copying it one for one. But the original writer, Robert Kirkman, is also making changes where he feels necessary to enhance the story and give certain characters more shine, especially the woman. And in this next season, we'll be getting a lot of new content since they'll be adding in an arc that Kirkman never got to do in the comic, but he wanted to. So that'll be interesting.
Mm.
Essentially, it's going to be filler, but not really because
Mhm.
the writer wrote it. And that's exciting. Next, we got
Yeah.
Primal season 3. We got a trailer at Comic Con, and just last episode we were talking about how Genndy Tartakovsky is having a hard time getting his adult animated movie, The Black Knight, off the ground, which is insane when his adult animated series Primal is on its third season and it looks awesome. But for some reason,
Right.
people don't believe that he could make a animated adult movie profitable. Like, what's happening? Um, the
Right.
the first two seasons of Primal um, were about a caveman and a dinosaur who bond over the loss of their families and become each other's only hope for survival in a treacherous world. But the story ended in season two, um, or that specific aspect of the story, and it looks like season three is headed in a very different and more supernatural direction. There was some supernatural stuff in the first two seasons, but
Mhm.
it wasn't like super heavy-handed from what I can remember. But it seems like they're really leaning into it for this third season, and I'm very excited to see what they do. I saw a tweet that said, "This is what a modern Hulk cartoon should look like," and I was upset because I never thought of a Hulk animated series by Genndy Tartakovsky, and I'm like, wait a minute, that would be perfect. He tells
They're
stories
cooking.
about mostly nonverbal characters so well, and the ferocity and violence of Primal definitely fits the Hulk. Like, what is it? I don't know exactly what the rights for the Hulk look like in terms of animation or TV. Um, so they would probably have to like if Disney wanted to make a Hulk cartoon with Genndy Tartakovsky, they probably have to pair him with another character um, to make it work because of the weird rights issue with Universal because Universal doesn't like money. Um, and they have the like the film rights for the Hulk, but they won't let Marvel make a movie. It's so weird. I don't know why they're doing that. Um, but like a Hulk cartoon by Kenny Tartakovsky would be great. Have either of you watched Primal?
I've
I've
watched a bit of
heard of it.
Primal. Like I know how it ends and everything. That's why I'm like confused on how they would do like a third season.
You
So I
should watch the
just looked
trailer.
at the
Yeah,
trailer as we were talking, and I'm like, oh, okay, I
yeah,
like this.
exactly.
It broke my heart the way that it ended.
Yeah,
So I was like, how would they fix this?
you should definitely watch Primal. I hear it's real good.
It is
I
really
will.
good.
But
Speaking of something you did watch and that I know you're excited for, we got a confirmation of X-Men 97 season 3 before season 2 is even out. And showrunner Brad Wonderbaum says that they are currently discussing X-Men 97 seasons 4 and 5 with plans of a new season to drop every year starting in 2026 after season 2 comes out
We're
in the
getting
summer.
good.
Yeah. According to Variety, a trailer shown in the room to Comic-Con attendees showed the return of the evil mutant Apocalypse and the X-Men characters scattered across time. The heroes, like Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Jubilee, Nightcrawler, and more, must find their way back to the 1990s after being lost in the past and future. Which, if you watch the show, that's what happened at the very end. They got scattered across time, and they teased. They didn't tease. They just straight up showed Apocalypse, but a young Apocalypse before he becomes the Apocalypse that we know. So it will be an Apocalypse focused season, at least at the beginning, because last season they jumped between a bunch of different story arcs. So maybe Apocalypse will be the whole season. Maybe he'll be like half the season. I'm also curious. I'm curious, how many episodes was 97? Was it like 8 episodes probably? Because that's how short shit be nowadays.
I think so. Yeah.
They managed to tell some really complete stories despite how short it was. It was 10 episodes, which is that's pretty decent. That's pretty decent for nowadays. 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And if they're doing 10 episodes a year, I can mess with that. If they did like 12 though, that'd be perfection. Like 12, 13. Like, come on now. Give me a couple more.
Yeah.
But X-Men 97 was great. In anticipation for it, I not rewatched, because I hadn't watched anywhere near the entirety of the original animated series. So I watched the few episodes that I'd seen before and the rest of the original X-Men, the animated series from the 90s. And I enjoyed it for what it was. It doesn't hold up as well as Batman. But it's still a fun show. But 97, man. 97 is so good. And I'm excited for more. There was a little teaser image that like somebody took a picture of at Comic-Con. And it was of them in their new costumes, and their costumes are based off of the Grant Morrison run. And I'll have to find those because I was just looking at them. You can just look up like Grant Morrison's X-Men and those costumes. That's what they look like. I can just send a picture of that. And it seems like that's, the story that they'll be pulling for this. That'll be exciting because I hear good things about that. I haven't read.
These ones are my favorite.
Yeah, I haven't read Grant Morrison's X-Men, or if you want to say that in the chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the very like everybody's wearing like a uniform and they all have these jackets. And those jackets are cool. Somebody had like made those jackets, but made them like fleece jackets. They're so cool. I have to get those. I was thinking
I want one so bad.
Yeah, at work we're doing like a costume day. Was it the Monday before Halloween?
Yeah.
And I wanted to try and get together a Cyclops cosplay, but I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to get all the stuff I need in time. I could just get the visor.
I feel like you could.
I could just get the visor and some like yellow gloves and make it work. But I'm like, there's more to it I want to do. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I'm doing. But last in animation, we have Batman Knightfall. We're getting a multi-part animated adaptation of the Batman Knightfall comic, which is the comic that introduced my favorite Batman villain, Bane, who is so cool and absolute Batman right now. This is the best Bane has been in a long time. Bane, and the thing is, and I was a little upset about it at first, Bane in Absolute Batman is no different from Bane in the main universe, which the whole point of the Absolute universe is that they do new and different things, but Bane is just Bane. And I'm like, I can't be mad at this. It's a slight twist on his story, but not like significantly different, but even then it's still just real good. And if this is anyone's first experience with Bane, it'll be a good one. But yeah.
Speaking of,
I was gonna say part 1 is releasing in 2026, and I hope that DC is returning to doing one-to-one adaptations of comics in these animated, like direct to streaming animated movies, because their last animated movie universe was a dud, and they need to do better. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah, speaking of the Absolute universe, I was talking to somebody the other day, a friend of mine that I do D&D with, and he recommended the Absolute Martian Manhunter.
Oh yeah, it's
series.
awesome. Look, we're probably.
I'm requesting. I was gonna say, I'm humbly requesting that we add that to the book club docket. Then
I wasn't, because I was gonna be like, maybe that's just one you read by yourself. But if you want to add it to the docket, I'll
I
add
would love
Martian
to.
Manhunter to the docket because Martian Manhunter is amazing. Okay, we can read Martian Manhunter. Absolutely, Martian Manhunter is crazy. It is the wildest. It is so different from what Martian Manhunter usually is in a lot of ways.
Mm,
It's awesome.
mhm.
We could read all
Bet.
the ultimate. I mean, the absolute comics.
I'd be willing to do
I'd
that
be down.
actually.
But yeah,
Yeah, same.
after Supergirl, we're doing Absolute Batman, and I plan on doing then after that a Superman comic, then Absolute Wonder Woman. So maybe we just do Absolute comic and then another comic and then an Absolute comic. um, but yeah, that's it in animation. Okay, moving on to comics. Bree, why don't you kick things off?
So not a comic, but more so a manga. It's one of the ones that get recommended to you on like Instagram or like YouTube, and it's called like Fake It Till You Break It, and it's about like this princess who does not like her husband at all, and they were like married since like birth, nothing freaky deaky or anything like that. Like they were both children. They were like, oh yeah, to like fix the kingdom or something, we'll just have our children be married and then blah blah blah. But as they grow up, she realized she does not like this guy, and like his behavior to her is like really like cold and weird. And so she gets into like an accident where she's like completely fine, but decides to like pretend that she lost her memory. And so she was like, "Oh, if I like pretend to like act differently towards him like how I used to, maybe he'll like run away or something." But anyway, so she's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna act overly sweet and like endearing instead of like distant and cold, and like he'll surely like run away because he'll be awkward." But no, dude rolls with the punches. He's like, no, like before you lost your memory, we were like madly in love, and like you called me this nickname, and we did this together. We did this. She was like, "What the heck? Why is he lying like this?" But
That's
essentially,
hilarious.
it
I
is. It's
think I've
pretty funny.
seen the ads for this and I've been wanting to read it. So
Yeah, I
now that
found
I
a
know it's
free white
good,
read,
I'm like, I'm locked in.
and like luckily, it's like nothing weird because like someone does eventually find out that she's fake, and you say, "Look, I don't like the guy either, so maybe we can like really trick him."
Well,
But
it was
like
like,
each time she tries
now
to like
we
act
can kill
differently,
him.
he's just like, "With it, we can kill him."
We could kill him. It's insane.
But like, yeah, she starts to see like a new side of him that she never saw before, and like she kind of like unveils certain things about their past. So like, it's actually pretty decent. I'm not mad at it. It's a
Noted.
cute read. I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, those like Instagram ads where they advertise those mangas where it's like the plot is something absolutely insane. Like they be getting me sometimes. Real
There was
bad.
one
There's
I
this
like ended
one
up buying because it was so good.
shit.
It was
Which
called
one
like
was
Love and
that?
Hell. I think it was like Love and Hell or
Mhm.
something like that. And it was going through like the different lives of like married women and like their husbands and how like they're treated. And I don't know, but oh, they just eat. I was like, I gotta buy the next chapters. I think it's still ongoing, but like you're just sitting there rooting for the wife. I'm like, girl, get your evidence and get out of there. Ruin this man's
Over
life.
there,
Ruin his
right.
life. But like it's
There's this
different women
one.
like going through like stuff. So like one girl's boyfriend was like really abusive, but she's still in love with him. And then like another girl, her husband is like I think actively cheating on her
Ooh,
or
yikes.
something like that. And then there's like three women so far. But I recommend it so much. Like I didn't think it would be so good. Like these ads, guys, take them seriously
Mhm.
sometimes. 'Cause some of them are really, really good.
Yeah, there's this one I've been wanting to read where it's like a scorned younger sister and like her older sister is the bride of like a fox demon and so like her parents give them everything that they want.
Oh my gosh.
And then like the little sister's like, "I hate my life. I think I might just kill myself." And then she finds another guy who's like, "You'll be my bride." And she doesn't know this man from a hole in the wall and that's where the ad ends and I'm like, "I have to know." I have to know.
Do you remember the name? I feel like I've seen that.
I don't, but if I find it again, I'll send it to you.
Okay, cool, cool.
Those ads be insane. What have you been reading, Ira?
Still reading Demon Slayer, getting through the Mugen Train arc very slowly. It's not really hitting for me like the rest of the manga was, unfortunately. But I feel like it's a thing of because I know what happens at the end already
Oh
because of
no.
you know, having how deeply ingrained in the public consciousness Demon Slayer is. It's like very hard to avoid spoilers. So it's like I know what happens, but you know, I'm trying to persevere and get through it anyway. Been catching up with Claymore and Helsing, and that's been nice, although also slow going. I feel like I started something new recently, and I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. I don't think I did start anything new, and I'm just misremembering. But yeah, mostly my usuals: Claymore, Demon Slayer.
Well, for me, still always reading 1,000 things. Read, went and picked up my comics lately, and it was another thick stack. Um, I forgot to add it, but I picked up the first issue of the Deadpool and Batman crossover comic, the first Marvel DC crossover comic in like 20 years.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
I got an awesome variant cover where on the cover it's Wolverine and Batman fighting. It's so cool. Hold on, let me look it up and send you a picture. The this variant cover is sick.
You talking about crossover reminds me that DC did a crossover with like Sonic.
Oh yeah, we talked about that
Yeah.
last episode. It's
Yeah. Did you read it at all?
no,
Okay. I have no clue if it's good or not.
I've heard it was good. Well, I've seen a bunch of pages from it that people posted online.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have that cover. And I only read the beginning, which is the Deadpool um, Batman story, where Deadpool is hired by the Joker to capture Batman, and then Batman pits them against each other and then escapes and captures the Joker. And then all the issues after that are other DC characters crossing over. Let me grab real quick to read who is crossing over with who in it. I know the one after Batman and Deadpool is Captain America and Wonder Woman on the battlefield of World War II, which is interesting.
Mm.
Maybe I shouldn't talk while I read this. A new innovation has been made in comic book technology. So they come in sleeves, right? Plastic sleeves with like a cardstock backboard. And
Mm-hmm.
so the sticky part, so that you can fold down the flap and seal it, is usually on the flap itself, but they've innovated. And now the sticky part
Ooh.
is on the back of the spot where the actual comic goes in. Because sometimes when it's on the flap, when you try to put the comic in, the comic will stick to the flap. And I'm like, stop this. And one time I made a mistake and like ripped off a little tiny piece of the comic. And I was like, no. So I had to be careful ever since then. But now the comic shop I go to, they use sleeves that have the sticky part on a part where the comic doesn't touch. So it just slides in easy.
Ooh.
So yeah, anyway.
Maybe they heard the complaint. Let me fix this.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, and the Deadpool Batman was drawn by my favorite Batman artist, Greg Capullo, who his art's awesome. But let me flip through these pages and find it. So yeah, we got Captain America and Wonder Woman, written by Chip Zdarsky, drawn by Terry Dodson. We have Jeff the Shark and Crypto the Superdog by Kelly Thompson. And Gurihiru. Oh, we have Daredevil and Green Arrow by Kevin Smith and Adam Kubert. We have Rocket Raccoon and Green Lantern by Al Ewing, Dyke Ruin. We have Old Man Logan and the Batman The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller and Alex Sinclair. And then we just have a random Lobo. But yeah, it's a fun read. I have to finish it up. It's just a longer comic because there's a bunch of short stories in it after the main story. But I also read The Ultimates number 16. Ultimate Hawkeye number 1. It's a one shot, so 1 of 1. Ultimate Wolverine number 9 and 10. And I was starting to fall off Ultimate Wolverine, but now it's starting to pick up. I'm like, hold on now. Let me let them cook. I almost stopped buying them, but they're pulling me back in. Ultimate Spider-Man number 21, which I kept hearing people say was boring, and then I read it. I'm like, it wasn't boring. I like that. Maybe I just have different tastes from everybody else. I don't know. I was like, that was a good issue. I don't know what people are complaining about. We got a Batman number 1 by Matt Fraction and George Jimenez, an all-star creative team of 2 artists that I love. Matt Fraction wrote a Hawkeye comic that's really good that was adapted for the show that wasn't nearly as good as the comic. George Jimenez has been drawn on Batman for a while, but I first was introduced to him through his Superman art, which I think he's the best modern Superman artist. So when I saw that they were working on it together, I was like, this is awesome. Actually, you know what? Because the marketing for this is great, but it's another one of those situations where if you're not a comic book person and you're not following comic book people, I follow so many comic book artists, you're not like seeing this art. So I'm actually going to send it to you. Because if you saw these things, because you follow these people, which by the way, you should follow comic artists on Instagram.
Please send all of
Yeah,
them
because I was gonna say
so
that's
I can
a.
follow them.
So let me tell you something. Anytime we read a comic, look up the comic artists on Google and go to their Instagram, because then you will be told about the comics that they're working on. So if you like an artist, you like a writer, you will see them post on Instagram about the comics that they're working on. But let me look up these Batman concept arts from George Jimenez real quick, because he was just posting a lot of it, and it had everybody go, hold on now, they're cooking. But when people heard Matt Fraction was working on it, everybody immediately was excited because Matt Fraction's awesome. And then when we started getting all of the art of the character designs, then everybody got real excited. We also seen George Jimenez's Instagram.
Oh, I've actually
Ooh,
seen
this is
art.
hard.
Yes, his costume right now is so good.
I like the spiky cape over the the circular dips. I don't know what about that is attracting me so bad, but I really like that a lot.
Giving bat.
Yeah, like
Yeah, if you just go to Instagram and look up and like just look at the art, it's great. Let me go to his Twitter because that'll be
But yeah, I
easier
think I
place
came
to.
across this art in passing on Instagram.
oh
But didn't
yeah.
follow the artist.
Yeah. So let me drop that follow right now.
Yeah, look at the way this man draws. Look at this cover. He's doing covers where he's like breaking down like the gadgets that are really cool. These variant covers, and this one for like the utility belt is really cool. Like his art is just so good.
I have seen this man's art before. It's so clean.
Yeah,
It is. His line work is so good.
How does he get such saturated colors? Like they fit so well.
yeah. I'm curious who's. Let me actually look that up to see who was the colorist on Batman #1.
Every time I look at art, I'm like, I gotta get back in the studying game so I can improve. Because this is beautiful.
I thought you were going to say I gotta get back in the studio.
I gotta get back in the studio. I gotta rap about this.
Imagine if artists talking about getting back in the studio like rappers do.
You know what? I'm gonna start saying that. Oh my gosh, the way he draws expressions too.
The colorist is Tommy Mori. That's a very specific name, Tommy Mori. But yeah,
Tommy Mori.
What else do I have? Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I was going through the comics. So I also read Miss Terrific Year 1 #4, Green Arrow 27, Batgirl #11, which Batgirl's so good. For the past few days, I've just been imagining what like a Batgirl TV show could look like, because a Batgirl show could easily connect to these other characters. Because a Batgirl story would be heavily like martial arts focused. This comic is very martial arts focused, because her mom is Lady Shiva, who is like one of the greatest martial artists in the DC universe, and also the man that trained her is Bronze Tiger, another one of the greatest martial artists in the DC universe. And Bronze Tiger and Lady Shiva were friends at one point in time, and they both were also friends with Richard Dragon, another one of the best fighters in the DC universe. Like it's just her lineage is just connected to all of these great fighters. Then of course, she's also a student of Batman, so it's like she is considered by most the best DC fighter, Batgirl, the second Batgirl, Cassandra Cain. And this comic has been so good. It's been so good. Maybe you guys will check it out whenever we get the DC universe. But let me wrap this up. We got Superman 29, Absolute Green Lantern #6, Red Hood the Hill #3, The Flash #4, Cheetah and Cheshire robbed the Justice League issue #2, which I don't remember if I brought up issue #1 last episode. But it's essentially like Ocean's 11 meets DC, which is really fun. Justice League Unlimited #10, Absolute Batman #12, Fire and Ice When Hell Freezes Over #6, which is the final issue of the miniseries, Batman Dark Patterns #10, which continues to be incredible. And despite this man drawing every single chapter except maybe a couple, I didn't realize that it was the same artist as Absolute Wonder Woman on this book, Hayden Sherman, whose art is incredible. Poison Ivy number 36, and lastly, nope, not lastly, Birds of Prey number 25. And I forgot to write it down because I had this physically. Absolute Evil number 1, which was a one shot about the Absolute Universe's Legion of Legion of Doom, the villain group, and that was really good. And it was wild. There was a character died, and it was crazy. Moving on to some news, which we don't always have in this section, but it's Comic-Con, so there's a lot of news. And we're going to start with some DC news. I'm getting most of this info from DCU updates on Twitter. First up is DC's next initiative after DCKO, called DC Next Level, with a new series with some of the best creators in comics. It's about providing highly accessible books and spotlighting some characters and creators in a new way. And they went to the creators and asked them what projects they wanted to do. The books announced were Batwoman, Barbara Gordon Breakout, Deathstroke the Terminator, The Demon, Firestorm the Nuclear Man, Batman Shadow of the Bat, Lobo, and Zatanna. With creatives Jeff Lemire, Tony Fleeks, Jamal Campbell, Joshua Williamson, James Herron, Mariko Tamaki, and Dennis Camp revealed to be attached to these series. But we weren't told who is attached to what series specifically, except for 2 of them. The 2 series that were that they were willing to attach creators to were Lobo by Scotty Young and George Corona, and my most anticipated of them all, Batwoman by Greg Rucka and Danny. You can look up Danny art. It's literally just look up Danny comic art, because I looked them up and I was like, what's their last name? They just go by Danny. And Greg Rucka was the man responsible for reimagining Batwoman into what she is today, 17 years ago. Batwoman was created in the 50s alongside the original Batgirl, which was not Barbara Gordon. Barbara Gordon was created for the live-action Adam West show, and then she was added to the comics and was retconned into being the first Batgirl, but she's actually not the first Batgirl, technically. But yeah, the original Batwoman and Batgirl were created in the 50s as love interest for Batman and Robin, just to prove that the dynamic duo weren't in a romantic relationship like a bunch of weirdos thought back in the day. Now, Batwoman is as far from being an object of Batman's desire as possible, by, of course, being given, agency and a story of her own beyond that, but also by being Batman's cousin and a lesbian. So Greg Rucka did everything in his power to wipe away that old storyline, which was already retconned, which was why he was able to bring the character back like that. But yeah, after not enjoying the first episode of the live action Batwoman show that was on the CW, I decided to read the Batwoman Volume 1 Elegy comic by Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams III on art, which J.H. Williams III's art is so goddamn good. And I've added Batwoman to the list. We're going to read that eventually. That comic was really good. And that's where I fell in love with Rucka's writing and became a fan of Batwoman. And yeah, it's real good. If I had to guess of what people are attached to other comics that were mentioned, there's only one that I really have a good guess on. And that is that Jamal Campbell is 100% working on Zatanna. So the most recent Zatanna comic only ended 2 months ago. And guess who wrote and drew it? Jamal Campbell. So Zatanna isn't coming back next year, and they put that man's name on here randomly. He's definitely going to be the one working on it. Jamal Campbell's art is great, and he's also a pretty good writer. A bit of context, because I mentioned DCKO, but you're probably wondering, what the hell is DCKO? So here's the synopsis of the series. The Heart of Apocalypse has transformed Earth into a hellscape in preparation for the return of Darkseid. The end of the DC universe is here. The Justice League's only chance to defeat Darkseid is to enter a deadly tournament, an epic and over-the-top battle royale that will surprise you. The world's greatest heroes fight to become the champion to enter the ring against Darkseid. But there's a catch. The closer you get to the Heart of Apocalypse, the more it corrupts you and changes you into something dangerous. Which DC character has what it takes to make it to the end? Who is willing to do what it takes to win, even if it means taking down their friends and family? So yeah, it's a fighting tournament crossover event and I haven't read issue 1 yet. It's in I have it downloaded, but I haven't sat down and read it yet. But I will in time for next episode. And the fallout of this event will result in the new line of comics, that I just talked about. But something real interesting, I sent a picture of it that you were probably like, what the fuck is this? That I sent in the comics section of our Discord. At Comic-Con, it was revealed that some non-DC characters, including characters that WB owns and a decent amount of characters that WB doesn't own, will be making cameos in this comic. The characters teased by the writer of the crossover, Scott Snyder, are Vampirella and Red Sonja from Dynamite Comics, Annabelle, yes, the doll from the horror movies,
Okay.
Oh,
which
that's
I didn't even
insane.
notice her in the corner over there. What?
which is a WB property. Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, which isn't a surprise, that's owned by WB. And he was in Injustice 2. Homelander from The Boys, also not that big of a surprise. He was in Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
And I hope he gets destroyed immediately by the weakest character in the tournament. Because in comparison to DC characters, Homelander is nothing.
Yeah.
Also, he sucks. And not the show. The show's good. It's not for me, but it's a good show. And the character is a good character in the show. But as a person, he sucks and deserves to be destroyed.
True.
And lastly, a complete new character for me. But from a comic that I think will very much interest you guys, because I read it and was like, what the hell is this? And apparently it's only 6 issues, so maybe we'll read this. Maybe I'll throw this on the list and we'll all go through this fever dream together. Her name is Samantha Strong, and she's the main character of a comic called Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, which is about a serial
Exactly what that is.
which is about a serial killer brown bear who secretly commits murders outside of her hometown and buries her victims in the woods to avoid suspicion. When Woodbrook locals start getting killed in gruesome ways, Sam does her own investigating to catch the perpetrator and prevent her secret double life becoming public knowledge. And this is from, I believe, Image Comics. Yeah, this shit's wild. And it's like anthropomorphic animals. It's crazy. I saw it and I was like, who is this bear person? And I looked it up and I was like, what the hell is this? What is this weird shit? Let me read it.
When you sent this picture, I was like, what is my girl Samantha doing here? What?
Right.
Yeah, shit's...
I didn't know that this was like their property. Wow. So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much only 2 of them are actual DC characters. I mean, WB characters, which is Annabelle and Sub-Zero. The rest of them are other people's properties.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
But yeah, that's very interesting. Now, this DCKO event and the crossovers that they're having has people suspicious. People are suspicious that this is all a setup for the next DC fighting game from NetherRealm Studios. And that it won't be Injustice 3, but an adaptation of DCKO. And if that's the case, I have hopes and I have wishes. It's been leaked that that voice actors have begun recording for what we all assume to be Injustice 3. But the Injustice 3 story and universe has run its course. It's been milk dry. There's nothing else to do there. So it does make sense, and I've been hoping that they would go to a different universe, tell a different story with the DC characters. And what better way to get a bunch of random characters together to fight than a fighting tournament? It's how Mortal Kombat does it. This is the Mortal Kombat devs. Better yet, if it spans multiple universes, which is my hope. And that as a result, we get some absolute versions of characters as playable fighters. Imagine playing as the big, 6'8" jacked Batman with an axe from the Absolute Universe instead of the regular Batman. or Wonder Woman that's a witch and has a Buster Sword. Slight tiny spoilers if you didn't know that. Or that version of Bane, which is just Bane but bigger. Or Martian Manhunter, which we'll get to that. Who just slight little hint at what that looks like. I imagine he would play very similar to how Phoenix Wright plays in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Which is insane.
Which is insane because normal Martian Manhunter, him, he's like, oh, has all the same powers as Superman, plus he can shapeshift turned intangible and has telepathy. Nothing I just said of comparing him to Phoenix Wright in a fighting game would be how you would imagine that version of Martian Manhunter to fight, because he's in Injustice 1. He just stretches and shoots lasers and turns intangible. Nah, not Absolute version. Absolute version is real different.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm excited to read DCKO and where that story goes. I'm not usually a fan of crossovers, but this one's fun. This one's just fun. I usually hate them because they interrupt my comics, but they haven't been interrupting my comics, and I love that. When I was reading Daredevil, and just fucking Venom interrupted my comic. Venom, get the fuck out of my Daredevil comic, bro. Why are you here? Go away. I don't care. I'm reading Daredevil, not Spider-Man. Get this nigga out of here.
you feel like he just walked into the room while you're reading.
Right.
I'm just reading the comic.
It feels like your annoying roommate or something.
Right. We're out of milk. It's like, if you don't get the hell out, don't help.
Well, yeah, Marvel didn't have nearly as much news that I was interested in, but they did announce that the Ultimate Universe is coming to an end next year in 2026. Spider-Man is ending in December, Black Panther in January, X-Men in February, the Ultimates in April, and Wolverine in what's the month after April? March, April, May. And all of them except Wolverine are ending with issue number 24. Wolverine is ending with issue number 26. 26. 16. Dennis Camp posted on Twitter saying, I will do a longer post later, but this is real. I understand why some might be sad, but I hope you will see that this is something to be excited about. Most stories in comics don't get to end on their own terms. Ours does. I don't believe him. I think he's lying to us.
Oh, okay.
It does not make sense to end this universe so soon. It has barely begun. And it is so clear that everybody else except him wants to keep going. And if they're ending it just because he's done, that's stupid. American comics are known for multiple writers working on these things. This universe doesn't have to end with Dennis Camp. Also, these comics have been selling gangbusters and doing things that people have been wanting from the main universe for years, but in this alternate universe. And I bet that this is just a transition into something else that will continue this story, unless Camp says otherwise when he makes that longer post, which he hasn't yet, last I checked. So I think he's lying to us. Because there's no way
Do you have any
they're this stupid.
complaints about any of the comics of the Absolute comics?
Oh yeah, for sure. All of them are boring except the Ultimates and Ultimate X-Men.
Okay.
But at the same time, I don't want it to end. Black Panther got better. Ultimate Wolverine also has been getting better. It sucks that it's going to be ending in like 4 issues. And Ultimates has been a hit the entire time. That's the one that Dennis Camp is writing. And that's why it's been a hit the whole time. Just, God, the Ultimates is just fire. It's essentially, like, how do I describe this? You know what? We haven't been reading any Marvel comics at all.
I realized that the other day.
we have to throw a Marvel comic on here eventually, because I am significantly a bigger DC fan. You tell when I list off all the comics I'm reading. I'm reading Ultimate, Wolverine, Hawkeye, Spider-Man, but also reading Batman, Terrific, Green Lantern, Batgirl, Superman, Green Lantern, Red Hood, The Flash, fucking Justice League Unlimited. I'm reading like twice as many DC comics. For every one Marvel comic, I'm reading at least 3 DC comics. But I like Marvel.
It's funny, right?
And there's Marvel comics to read that I'd like for us to read.
Because like my perception of comics, even though I knew that DC existed, my perception of comics was really just Marvel. And like that was a part of the reason why like I didn't really want to get into them, because I don't really find most of the Marvel universe very interesting. But in reading so many DC comics to start off with, I'm like, I should have been reading comics from the jump and probably only DC. Because they're kind of...
I'm very curious to see like what comics you guys end up reading once we subscribe to DC Universe Infinite, and to just start the episode and you guys are just telling me about this random like comic that you saw on the DC app and just decided to read the first issue
Right.
and then ended up reading like 12. I'm really excited for that because you guys are going to get in there. You're going to see a bunch of comics. You're going to be like, oh my God. And you're just going to start reading and it's going to be great.
I promise I'll have
Glorious.
more to talk about in the comic section. I'm
Oh, for
ready.
sure.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. But yeah, just, move on to the end of what we have in our recording session today. Moving on to the book club. So, of course, we're still reading Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. This is the penultimate episode before we're done in the next issue with the final 2 issues of issues 7 and 8. But for this one, we're doing issues number 5 and number 6. Of course, still written by Tom King with pencil and inks by Bilikas Evely, colors by Matthias Lopez, letters by Clayton Cowles, cover by Evelyn Lopez, and edited by Brittany Hauser. Quick synopsis of the issues. In issue number 5, Supergirl steps into an ancient trap, stranding her and Ruthie on a planet of nearly perpetual night. Now the Woman of Steel must call on every remaining ounce of strength to combat the monsters left on this world to kill any super unlucky to end up on its surface. In issue number 6, the traumatic secrets of Supergirl's past are revealed as our heroine races to the edge of the universe to escape Krim and his latest weapon. The murderer of young Ruthie's father has gotten his hands on a Mordru globe and plans to use it to make our hero disappear forever. Can she save herself and the young girl's future in the process? She'll need the help of her trusty steed, Comet the Superhorse, which I'm certain you guys didn't know that shit existed.
No. I was confused as hell.
But yeah, as usual, we're going to start with the art. Issue number 6 is probably, I think on average, on every page and panel on average, I think overall it's the most beautiful. I think there's been single pages in other chapters so far that I've liked individually, but as a whole, issue 6 I think is it's the prettiest issue so far. It's just a bunch of beautifully rendered drawings of the landscape of Krypton before and during its destruction. And on top of that, in the present day of the story, Supergirl rides Comet the Superhorse through space as they attempt to outrun the Mordru globe, which we saw, the results of being caught by that in issue 5. And every page of Comet rocketing through space is amazing. Especially that one where they're in front of a sun. But the moment they reach the edge of the universe, which is crazy. I love that in this comic we get little bits and pieces of like Kryptonian bullshit of when Supergirl looks at that dude's DNA and then finds his daughter's body, which is insane.
Right.
And here we get peak Superman bullshit where she gets on her super horse and tells it, hey, yeah, just just to the edge of the galaxy, the edge of the known universe.
I don't know if you know where that is, but just head that way.
And then he just moves only God knows how much faster than the speed of light and reaches the edge of the universe in a page where we see the colors disappear in this weird paint mixing type look. It's just awesome. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen and you guys can see it in the comic chat. It's gorgeous.
And it's I was able to suspend my disbelief for a lot of this, especially the thing with her reading the dude's DNA and it. But this was insane because especially because the volume opens kind of cold, volume 6. So I'm who's this horse? Why are we on a horse right now? I had to go back a couple times and make sure I wasn't missing any context from either volume 5 or volume the beginning of volume 6.
Because I read
cold open on a horse. I'm
I read issue 5 last night and then I read issue 6 this morning. So when I started reading, I was like, oh, did I make a mistake and skip an issue?
I kept looking back. I was like, I'm wrong, right? Where did this horse come from? What is going on here?
Come from Supergirl. The horse is here.
Supergirl is a horse girl.
Which, you know what? That makes sense. I can see it. She looks like as a person who went to horse girl college.
What?
You're gonna have to tell that story after you're finished recording. She went to racist horse girl college, but anyway. Or they, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Wild. Yeah, what other art moments did you guys like?
I like the lead up to Ruthie being attacked by the big dinosaur, and like the way like the both the like paneling of that moment and a lot of the like the layout of the typography of the what did she say? It was like please wake up or something like that. I thought that was really brilliant.
Yeah, that moment was cool. Like let the sun set, I
I
think she
like
was saying.
the first one
Yeah,
where like
yeah.
take it.
No, I was just saying
No, I
that.
was just agreeing.
Yeah, she was saying let the sun set.
Oh yeah, that was very dramatic. I was like, please, I don't know what's gonna happen. I was doing like
Right.
zoom in read mode so I could like read all of like the text
Like I
instead
don't.
of like zoom out because it's hard
Yeah,
to read.
yeah, I do that whenever I'm reading on my tablet. I like double tap it, so it like goes panel by panel, um,
Mm.
because that's a better way to do it than like artificially zoom in. Um, but dang, what was I about to say? Like, do you guys? I don't know if you guys remember it because maybe you guys don't even remember this, so you're not thinking about this while you're reading it. But they're like this is the comic they're adapting for the movie that's coming out next year that they're currently filming. So when I'm reading this, I'm going like, oh, what is this going to look like in a movie? Are they going to even adapt this part? Like, how are they going to do this?
I want to see the end of the universe, but the panels that I liked was when Ruthie was fighting the green dinosaur, and like the way she's describing it and how it's being drawn out is like very graceful in my opinion, like how she's falling and dodging the dinosaur. And she's like, I don't mean to hype myself up, but and I was like, no, you're hyping yourself up. The way that you're explaining this and how they're like conveying it in image, I'm like, yeah, I would hype myself up too.
Yeah,
But like she slayed her
Yeah.
first beast. She's like, I'm not like this is the first time I've like wielded my weapon against something and like had like an outcome like this. So I was like, dang, this whole time she's just been like ducking and dodging like bullets and like attacks from others, and like this is the first time we see her like actually in the mix. So I really like that panel.
yeah. That was the most interesting part of issue 5 for me. Kind of getting into the story analysis in issue 5, we get more focused on the deeds of Ruthie as she defends Supergirl from dinosaurs after they're transported to a planet with a kryptonite sun by a Mordru globe, as I previously mentioned, which is a magical device that can send you to anywhere in the universe. By random, it seems, but randomly it chose the worst place possible for Supergirl by convenience of
Yeah,
the
random
story.
out
Right.
behind.
Um, and kryptonite, of course, the weakness of Kryptonians. So Ruthie and Supergirl have to wait until the sun sets, and Supergirl recovers before they can leave, leaving Ruthie to defend them, which she does to the best of her abilities. Despite facing off against gigantic man-eating dinosaurs that were designed to kill a weakened Superman, seeing it as that is why this planet and the green sun exist, according to Kara, is it was made to kill Superman. And he only escaped because the Justice League came and saved him after 45 minutes, but she was there a whole day for a whole like 12 hours.
Mhm.
And yeah, I love just getting more of Ruthie, like being more in the action rather than being a bystander.
Same. She's getting a lot of character growth in these last couple volumes, which both scares me and makes me happy because I think she's my favorite part of all of this. I know it's about Supergirl, but in my heart, this is Ruthie's story.
It's
Mm,
like very Ruthie-esque.
Hmm.
yeah. And in issue 6, this is one I couldn't wait for, to the point that I kind of spoiled that it even existed. In like the last episode, I just straight up mentioned like, oh yeah, they're gonna get into a backstory. um, and yeah, in this chapter, we get Supergirl's backstory, which is real sad. It's real sad.
Very sad.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to
Yeah,
expect.
unlike Superman, Kara grew to be 14 before Krypton was destroyed. So she
Oof.
watched all of her friends and family die alongside the planet itself, which wasn't destroyed in an instant like it's often depicted, but instead it took days, long enough for Kara's father, Zor-El, to encapsulate Argo City in a dome that protected them from the harshness of space as the city was split apart from the planet. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough because the very planet itself had become irradiated and turned into the infamous kryptonite. That's right, kryptonite is made out of irradiated pieces of krypton. and that's why it's called kryptonite. So yes, Superman's
Mm.
weakness is his destroyed planet. Um,
My
Yeah, that makes
gosh.
sense. It
so
tracks.
yeah, everyone left on the planet is being, hitting, just getting hit with cancer, and they have to cover the ground in lead, which takes its toll on everyone, and Kara ends up doing most of it by herself, which is crazy. Even before she gets her superpowers, and unfortunately, that doesn't last long because a hail of rocks and debris undid their work, forcing Zor-El to take a cue from his brother Jor-El, Superman's father, and build a single rocket for his daughter so that she may survive. Um, so yeah, what did you guys think of this issue?
It's really sad. Like the whole that constant repetition of I kept walking is just so like that part was so haunting. And like I didn't know again because of like bringing up what you said like I didn't know that Krypton was not immediately destroyed and that like it actually took a while. And that I think makes it like even sadder because it's like there's nothing like with the world being destroyed in an instant at least you can have peace because it's like after that instant is over it's done like you're dead but like to watch the only planet you've ever known like fall apart around you and not be able to do anything about it because you're 14 and this is something way beyond you is like I don't know that just really stuck with me.
Yeah, no, I agree because like anytime I've heard about Krypton being destroyed, I thought it was just like blown up and they were like, sent to Earth. I didn't think it happened in stages because when they were talking about the dome and how many people survived, it was like, oh yeah, 18,000 people survived. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good number. And it was like after like the building of like the lead wall and then like the rocks coming through, it was like, yeah, 13,000 died. I was like, oh, already? Immediately?
Yeah.
And, like, she was just doing her best to comfort people, but, like, she's just a baby. How does a baby comfort a dying adult? And then, like, the description of her walking by the stroller and not even checking if there was, like, a baby in there, like, if it's alive or not, like, it's
Yeah,
pretending to, like, be asleep or anything. Coping
that was
mechanism.
fucking bleak.
But
Oof.
it was messing me up. I was like, "Bro, she," and she continues to try and do good. I would have been a villain. Either be a villain or I
Yeah.
would have just died on the planet. Like, don't send me away. I can't live like this.
Right. I can't live with that knowledge. That's insane.
Like, my parents told me to do good. I can't do good. I can't.
Yeah, she's had it rough, but she's still a hero, and that's what makes Supergirl so great. And I'm so excited for this movie. So good. Um, but yeah, Comet the Superhorse. I hope he's in the movie too. um,
Which how many super animals are there? Now I feel obligated to ask
A
because
horse
we've got
and a
Crypto the
dog and
super
what else?
dog.
there's
Or a
Right.
cat.
yeah, I mentioned Streaky, the super cat.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are the only ones I know. I know Streaky, Comet, and Crypto. There's a bat cow.
Okay. That's
Okay.
hilarious.
Batman has a cow. Um, Wonder Woman has a
Okay.
kangaroo.
What?
Wonder Woman's
That I
pet is a
knew. I
kangaroo.
knew that.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's kangaroo. Also, a lot of people don't know this. She's Princess of Themyscira, but she's also a Disney princess because Wonder Woman can just talk to animals. That's one of the powers that I forget what goddess gave her that power, but she can talk to animals. A lot of people don't know that Wonder Woman can talk to animals.
Mm,
Where have we seen this?
sick.
I never knew this.
Um, well, I knew that from other things that I read, but I don't know. I can't think of any instance where it shows up particularly. It definitely shows up in Absolute Wonder Woman. At one point, she talks to an animal,
Oh,
and
okay.
her friends are like, "Are you insane?" And she's like, "No, I can actually talk to the animals." And they're like, "Uh huh, sure, okay, I believe you. You're not insane. You're just talking to animals. That's what normal people
Holy
do."
girl.
Why would you
Um,
doubt her? She's literally a Wonder Woman.
yeah. I'm so excited to read that comic. But yeah, that's all we got for this issue. Next is the last, and then we're moving on to Batman, and that'll be fun. So moving on to TV and film. For the next few episodes or more, we're gonna be having Ayera and Bree on because Christian broke his arm, so he's recovering. So, we can give him time to do that and get back to 100% before hopping back on the podcast whenever he's ready. So, for the next couple episodes, we'll have Ira and Breon and maybe some special guests. But yeah, so
Ooh.
what have you been watching lately?
I recently as in today, as of the day we're recording this, started this show called like Kingdom, and it's like I'm not very far in at all, maybe like 5 minutes in the first episode, but it's about like it's a zombie apocalypse type beat like series, but it's set in like Imperial Korea, and it's really cool. What else?
That sounds interesting.
You know, it's very interesting so far, and I haven't really watched that much, so I'm excited to watch the rest. Lots of kitchen nightmares in Hell's Kitchen. I am a sucker for reality TV, especially when it comes to like cooking. And that's been hilarious. Yeah, that's it. Mostly just those two things.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to live action TV and movies, I watched 28 Years Later. A couple weeks ago,
Oh,
I watched 28
I did
Days
too.
Later. So that's great. So we can just talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28 Years Later. Have you seen 28 Days Later?
I've not seen 28 Days
Oh,
Later,
wow.
but I know what it does, what it's done for the modern zombie canon.
Yes.
I'm usually not into zombie stuff. Just a personal preference, but like I've been kind of getting over my like aversion to it recently.
I love zombie stuff. I love it so much.
Mm.
But yeah, I watched 28 Years Later. It was good. Just as weird as the first one. It only gets like really weird towards the very, very end, but when it gets weird, it gets really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, 28 Days Later was like, talking about it with Christian, it was like one of the first movies to be filmed like fully digital, and this was like 2005. So it looks older than it actually is because it was just filmed digitally, and digital quality, wasn't what it is today. And yeah, because of that, it looks cheap, for lack of a better term. But it's still good despite that. And I would say I would put both movies on a equal level in terms of how much I like them.
Makes sense.
But the end of 28 Years Later is clearly setting up for a sequel. And as I was doing some research for my notes this episode, I discovered that it is getting one. Called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, directed by Nia DaCosta. And it was filmed back to back with 28 Years Later. And it's set to release January 16th, 2026. So that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you like it?
See, and maybe it's just because I haven't watched 28 Days. I really didn't like it. I don't know what it was about it. It's just like it wasn't like clicking for me for some reason. It just felt like really goofy and like unserious, and it like based on because I watched it. I know we talked about the trailers like months and months and months ago when they first started dropping, and I watched it because like the trailers were so fascinating to me that I was willing to get over like my aversion to zombie movies, but like it was nothing like what the trailers had kind of set it up to be for me. Like I thought the tone was going to be a lot more serious, but I don't know, it just wasn't my thing.
Yeah, I felt the same way about the first movie. It's like I like both. I'm definitely a lot more positive on them, but they are definitely more lighthearted than you would expect. To me, that's refreshing because most zombie stories are just overwhelmingly dark and bleak. But I also watched Peacemaker. Finished it up with the season finale last week, and the ending initially left me very conflicted because it felt unsatisfying. Superhero shows and movies tend to end with like an epic battle between the big bad, and the hero. But instead, Peacemaker season 2 ended on an emotional note with all of its characters, making some significant personal growth. Then a big twist happened at the very end that leaves the show on a cliffhanger. And that change in the usual formula, plus that open ending that's clearly setting up more, made the finale feel hollow because it felt like there was just something missing. like there was supposed to be one more episodes, but there wasn't. But after sitting with it for a while and like listening to other people's perspectives, I grew to enjoy how Gunn prioritized character growth over action, even though I still feel like there was just something missing. There felt like there needed to be one more episode in this season. But that growth that the characters go through, setting up something cool with all the characters starting a new endeavor together. And Gunn says that Peacemaker will not be getting a season 3, despite the cliffhanger, but it will tie into several upcoming DC projects like the Lanterns TV series that's coming out next year, and Man of Tomorrow, which is scheduled for 2027. But I believe that a new show that doesn't star Peacemaker as the lead, but is part of an ensemble cast, is probably going to be coming out sooner rather than later, based on how the show ended.
I just might.
Yeah.
I want to finish the series about the Penguin first that I had started and then never finished watching.
But yeah, the lady who plays Sophia Falcone has won a lot of awards for her performance, which she deserves because that was so good. It's crazy that that show came out last year. It does not
really.
It does not feel like it came out last year.
Definitely doesn't.
That's wild. Maybe it came out like end of like 2023 and like into 2024. No, it was end of 2024. No?
Wow.
It was September, but it feels like it was 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, but that show was so good. You definitely gotta finish it up. But moving on to some trailers and news. As we mentioned at the top of the show, Comic-Con was over the weekend as a recording. This is several days after that. And we're going to discuss a couple of trailers, a little bit of news. First, we got both a teaser and then a trailer for Wonderman, the Marvel Disney Plus series. And this show has intrigued me since its premise was revealed. And the main actor playing, the titular Wonderman, he's being played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who played Black Manta in the previous DC universe. But in this, he's playing, like I said, Wonderman, aka Simon Williams, who in this show is an actor hired to play the role of Wonderman in a reboot of an in-universe. I can't tell if it's a show or a movie, but an in-universe film of some sorts. And that premise alone is interesting. But what made it more interesting for me was that he's playing a race-swapped version of Wonderman, both in real life and in the show. And it seems like the show will be playing into that fact. But the first full trailer kind of like didn't kill my hype, but like lessened it. Because the teaser was like, okay, I was already interested, but now you're getting me a little bit hype. And then the trailer was kind of bland. Like overall, the idea is still cool, and I kind of want to see where it goes. But the trailer was kind of whatever. They're very clearly trying to tease that something sinister is going on behind the scenes that will result in Simon getting his powers, but they didn't really, I feel like, do a good job of portraying that. I know Wonder Man mostly from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, where he starts as a villain that was created in part due to Iron Man's fault, and then eventually becomes a hero. And I've heard of his exploits in the comics. He's a very prominent member of the Avengers, so I'm excited to see where that goes. But like, I don't know, this trailer was weird. I did hear that there's going to be like some horror elements in it. So it seems like they're trying to do some new stuff with this, which, I will always encourage comic book movies, especially Marvel, to actually try to do different things. But, this trailer didn't do much for me. On top of that, they used AI art to make an in-universe poster for like the older Wonder Man movies or shows, whatever they are in the universe. And it's so stupid. You're telling me Disney couldn't scrounge up the pennies it would cost them in comparison to the amount of money they have to pay a real artist to draw some old school old school hand painted like Indiana Jones, Star Wars style posters is what they were going for. That's the aesthetic they were going for. But they used AI when they could have just got somebody to draw it. Like
to paint them, right?
There's
so many people who like literally their whole bread and butter. Like it's pure laziness.
Yeah. And it makes me want to skip this show like I did Secret Invasion, which used AI for its opening, which was ridiculous. And that show was just bad in general. But, we'll see where this show goes. Hopefully it's good. Next, we have executive producer Brad Wonderbaum talking about the connection between Daredevil Born Again and Spider-Man Brand New Day. He says that Season 2 comes out before Spider-Man. And like I said, there's a coherence there. They're part of the world, but I wouldn't put too much faith in big, strong narrative connections. Daredevil Born Again Season 3 is aiming to be in production in March 2026 and shoot through the summer. Real TV is back, I hear. More and more, we hear about shows filming the new season before the next season is even out, and I'm so happy to hear it. No more waiting 1,000 years for the next season. You love to hear it. But I'm also happy to hear that.
We do.
The street level heroes are crossing over in some form or fashion, even if it's small. Especially Daredevil and Spider-Man. It's always fun when they cross over. There's some, the weird, the rights issues between Sony and Marvel when it comes to Spider-Man. But also, because Kingpin, despite, he's a villain shared between both Spider-Man and Daredevil, he was introduced in a Spider-Man comic. So there's some weird rights issues with using Kingpin specifically in movies. And I'm wondering if they've finally struck a deal with Sony to let them use Kingpin in the movie so he can show up in a Spider-Man movie, because he's just as much a Spider-Man villain as he is Daredevil. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Everything we hear about it sounds good. So, I hope it actually is good. It's being directed by Daniel Destin Cretton, who did Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings, and that movie was good. The action was good.
And that was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it seems like, hopefully he's bringing that same stunt crew to come in and bring that level of, martial arts flair to the fight scenes in this movie and really lean into Spider-Man's athleticism. That'd be really fun. Mm-hmm. And Tom Holland's athleticism. He's a dancer. He's pretty good at that stuff.
Tom Holland I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's very athletic. And yeah, he was like a dancer at some point, and he was trained. He was professionally trained in dancing. It's why that's
crazy to me for some reason.
That I'm sure you've seen the video of him dancing and singing or lip syncing to "Umbrella" by Rihanna.
Oh, I surely have. I didn't even make that connection. That's crazy.
Yeah, hopefully it's good. It's supposed to be coming out sometime next year, I believe. Lastly, short segment. We have despite Comic-Con happening, not a lot of announcements. We got a trailer for the Vampire Lestat, and I'm so excited.
Yes. Me too.
I can't remember if you've watched.
I still need to finish the first season of Interview, but
yeah, I've watched both seasons. And both seasons.
First season. I need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say I've watched the first season, and both seasons are on Netflix now. Before they weren't, and I had subscribed to AMC Plus or whatever to watch the second season because the first season was so good. I was like, I can't wait. But now they're both on Netflix.
So I have no excuse not to catch up. Doubly so because of this.
Yeah, I'm excited. I at one point, I remember talking to you about it now because at one point I mentioned that I might read the Vampire Lestat book, but I never got around to it. But now essentially the third season, but under a different name, is coming out. I honestly, I don't think they should have changed the name. I think they should have just continued to call it Interview with a Vampire instead of calling it the Vampire Lestat, because I feel like, people aren't. I want to say people aren't that stupid, but some people are that stupid, and it would have been smarter to stick with the name that people know instead of changing it. But yeah, I'm still excited. It looks good. It looks real good. All of those characters, so good. Lestat's just one of the best characters in the show. He's great. His actor does such a good job. Let me look up the actor's name real quick. And don't give me goddamn Mission Impossible, man.
I was going to say the Tom Cruise version.
Which I hear people like the movie more than some people like the movie more than the show, and I haven't seen a movie yet. And I just feel like it can't possibly.
It's not. I watched the movie many, many years ago, and it's just not, because it's like the thing that makes the show great to me is the fact that Lestat and Louis are like very clearly in a very like established relationship. Like in the movie, in the book it's very teased, but then in the movie they really tone it down a lot, and it really kind of ruins that narrative, unfortunately. I don't know.
Yeah, Sam.
It's not as gay and it's not as fun.
Yeah, Sam Reed does a good job as Lestat. It'll be exciting seeing him lead a show this time around. Okay, so moving on to video games. What games have you been playing lately, Ayera?
So, still a lot of Isaac, that does not change. I've gotten way deeper into Hades 2 now. Made it to the second area, and I'm loving it so much. I was right in the fact that the skill issue was all mine, being on controller. Because now that I'm back on keyboard and mouse.
Say something for later.
Gotcha. We'll do. But yeah, Hades 2 has been great. I've been enjoying that a lot. What else? That's about it. Mostly just it's roguelikes all the way down over here, I fear.
Cool. For me, also playing Hades 2, which we'll get to later. Still playing Ghost of Yotei, which I'll talk a little bit more about, what I've gotten in the game without spoilers later on. I guess I should say. I'll at this point, I'll have said this earlier in the podcast, but co-host of the TV and film section, Christian, has broke his arm, so he is taking some time away to, heal, rest and relax. So, TV and film section will be, me and A and Bree, and maybe I'll bring in some guests for that section. But this episode will be the usual suspects, and we won't be able to talk about Ghost of Yotei with Christian this episode. But when he gets back, trust me, we'll be having a long conversation about it because he's been able to start playing games again. So he's definitely probably going to be playing that on his time off. So yeah, other than that, I've also been playing Marvel Rivals, of course. Daredevil came out on the 10th of October.
Ooh.
So I played him over the weekend a lot. And he's very fun. Daredevil is a DPS, or a duelist, as they're called in Rivals, who focuses on melee combat. His basic attack is just him swinging his billy clubs. But he can throw them by entering a stance that gives him an option for 2 different attacks. The throw that has them bounce between enemies that are close to each other, and then another one that turns them into nunchucks, and he does this big swing attack that does a lot of damage. He also has a deflect move called Objection. The reference to the fact that he's a lawyer that blocks attacks from the front for a limited time, and his mobility is he has a grapple hook that pulls him towards wherever he points it. And they actually successfully recreated his blindness by having not by just having the screen be black, but which would be hilarious. But like your field of view at a certain distance becomes just all black with the buildings being outlined in red. And characters that are at a certain, he can actually, because of course he has enhanced senses. And he has radar sense, as they call it in the comics. So he can actually see everybody through walls. So despite the fact, the ironicness of his character has always been this, despite the fact that he's blind, he can see better than everybody. And it is that way in the game. Despite the fact that your view of everything is limited because like things start to fade out in the distance. The further it gets away from you in the game, which is a really cool visual, you can see everybody through walls. So no one can hide from you. And that includes all of the characters that can turn invisible. Their invisibility does not work on him. So all the invisible characters there's so many, I'm sure you've seen some videos of like people playing Invisible Woman turning invisible and trying to hide from like magic that's chasing her down. You cannot do that for Daredevil. I think one time I was playing Invisible Woman, turned invisible, and forgot that he could still see me, and then he started attacking me. I was like, oh no, how can he see me? He can't. That's the thing. He can't see me, but he can hear me. And he can smell my fear. But yeah, Daredevil was really fun. Okay, moving on to some trailers and news. There was a trailer for Avatar Legends: The Fighting Game, which is a working title. Avatar Legends: The Fighting Game is a fighter rooted in the spirit of elemental mastery. Designed for both newcomers and veterans, it channels the energy of classic fighting games while breaking new ground in movement, style, and combat expression. Built with a focus on fluidity, responsiveness, and online integrity, the game invites players to discover what it truly means to fight with purpose. With a hand drawn 2D art style, it is crafted to preserve the style and expressive animation of the original series. When I was watching the trailer, I was like, that's not 2D. It looks like it, but there's no way that's 2D. It's definitely like 3D made to look like 2D. No, it's 2D, and that's wild.
Straight up.
It just straight up looks like
Yeah.
you're playing the show. Yeah, but some of the key features that they listed on Steam are 12 playable characters at launch, with more to be released via, the season model. Selectable support characters who influence your fighting style and grant special moves. It sounds like they might be doing something similar to the cameo system in Mortal Kombat 1, where rather than having like a full-on tag system where you can switch between multiple characters, there is a character that you can just call in to do an assist move, but they're not a full playable character. There's also
okay.
a unique flow system with movement-centric gameplay, a single-player campaign with an original narrative, combo trials, gallery mode, best-in-class netcode, which I think just means rollback netcode, and it would have crossplay. And yeah, there's no date yet, but yeah, it looks cool. I'm probably not gonna play it. Look, and it's not their fault. I don't play most fighting games. The only fighting game I play is Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. That's all I play. I don't play
That's
Tekken.
real.
I don't play. There is. I'm gonna play Tokon when that comes out for sure. Hopefully that's a fighting game that I can play regularly. And once I start playing Tokon, I'm probably gonna start playing more Street Fighter 6 as well. There's also, what is it? 2XKO, the League of Legends fighting game that's free, but it's only on PC right now. As soon as it hits console, I'm gonna start playing that. But this one, it's gonna cost money, so I'm probably not gonna play it. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you guys, but just
No, that's real.
there are very few fighting games that I'm into, or care to spend, money on. So it's just not gonna happen. Especially since you gotta pay for an additional service to play games online. It's like I just ain't got the money for it. Even though it looks really cool, I'll have fun watching people play it. And I'll maybe if I have a friend who has it, I'll play it with over their house or something. But I don't think it's a game I'll buy.
Right. That makes sense. See me, I'm kind of in the same boat where it's like I'm not really into fighting games usually, and they're not my forte. This I'm buying. I have been waiting for this for my entire life since I was a young lad. At the end of the airing of the first Avatar, like Avatar: The Last Airbender specifically, I have been waiting for this all my life. So this will be purchased, and I will be playing it, even though I'm not really into fighting games. Like I'm going to make myself like it. No matter what.
That's fair. Yeah, I've just been waiting for an open world create your own character avatar game where you play as a avatar in, probably like a past era that they could easily do that in because there's been hundreds of avatars and they could just have it set in a random era. And you just play as the avatar. And I just want that. That's the avatar game I want. Yeah, next we have Hyperfunk, the sequel to Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which was the spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. It got a trailer. Hyperfunk is an extreme trick and graffiti game from a bright future. Society is shaped by the effects of the hyper, the online space, as various graffiti crews compete in reality with style and ideology of how to interpret this new world. Use your skates, skateboard, or BMX to do tricks that fuel your personal boost pack. The higher your combo score, the faster you can boost up to ridiculous speeds. And some additional features they say are dynamic style wars. Crews can take over areas and compete with others on their own. Challenge other crews to a graffiti battle where you will compete in real time on who can bomb the streets best. Escape the police and claim the area. Strategically use 4 different types of graffiti to go over your opponents. Tags, throwies, pieces, blockbusters. Move freely around the city to grow your crew, find music tracks, and unlock the other move styles, and meet random online players in the hyper or hang out online with your friends in the streets. In a lot of ways, this sounds like what I think Skate, just Skate, I guess it's called, but Skate 4 should have been. Obviously, Skate is a more
Right.
realistic simulation of skateboarding. So I guess I forgot to mention that too. Actually, I've been playing Skate. This is a good place to talk about that. I played Skate last night. It's just fun. It's just fun to skate around in that game. And it feels like, I don't skateboard in real life. I've never done it, but it feels like what I imagine it's
Right.
like, where you see something, you see a line, you see like, okay, this trick would be cool, and you try to do it, and you fail and fail and fail until you succeed. And that's what I just do. I'm skating around the city, I see this cool area, and I decide to do a trick, and I sit there and do it until I can land it. And I did that, and it was a good time. Skate's fun. It just, it's rough around the edges. And I I have no hope in the future of this game because EA just got bought by Saudi Arabia, and Skate's an EA game. So they're probably not going to see this as profitable. They're probably going to fire the team, cancel the game, and it sucks that it's this free to play online only game, because if they just added a single player mode and said you have to pay $70 for it, I would. So that I could always and I would buy it physically so I could always have this game and just be able to hop in and play by myself, and just skate around the city and have fun. And I hope they add something like that eventually, because if the service gets shut down, we're just out of luck. But yeah, the graffiti part, especially in Hyperfunk and Bomber Cyberfunk, is something that I wish the skate games leaned into, because I feel like graffiti and skate culture go hand in hand. And
for sure.
Skate it's a skateboarding game, so I wouldn't necessarily want them to have like roller skates or BMX bike. Those are different games. But the graffiti element would be really cool. But Hyperfunk, Bomber Cyberfunk, it was a game that looked cool, but not necessarily a game that I was interested in playing. I'm really excited to see what the next Jet Set Radio that they're currently developing looks like. Not this team, but Sega, and a team over at Sega is making, because that was announced alongside all those other Sega games, including Shinobi, which is out, and I just haven't gotten around to play it yet because there's a lot of games out, and I still need to finish Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which I've played on and off again, but not in a couple weeks. So yeah, this game really just made me go, what is Jet Set Radio going to look like, though? I feel like the new Jet Set Radio is probably going to be more my speed than this is. What about you?
I don't know. I like the sound of it in theory. I really do think that the graffiti part you were mentioning sounds a lot like Splatoon, which I think is really fascinating. Like the idea of like kind of I guess Splatoon on wheels in air quotes, where it's like, trying to cover ground with your graffiti, but also doing sick tricks for points. Like I like what it is in concept. I need to see it in execution to know if I'll really like enjoy it or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the hyper
but it looks cool,
like boost thing that they're talking about, where you just move extremely fast, seemed unwieldy. I'm curious how it'll actually work once people get their hands on it. Next we have Ananta, which is that insane looking, basically kind of like anime GTA that we've seen on and off again over the last couple of years. It was I forget what the former title was, but I think it was like Project. What was it actually? Let me look it up. Oh, it's Project Mugen. In my mind, I was like, it wasn't Project Mugen. It was Project Mugen. It used to be called Project Mugen, and I remember when they showed the first trailer, I was like, that looks interesting. I'm excited to see what that turns out to be. And we see what it's turned out to be, and it's an open world free to play RPG, and it got a long gameplay trailer a few weeks ago, alongside some gameplay hands on from games journalists at Gamescom, and we didn't talk about it to save time in the last few episodes, but we have time today. And in the trailer, we see a hodgepodge of mechanics from existing games like Spider-Man style swinging, Sleeping Dog style fighting and combat, and Watchdog style hacking. And reportedly, this game is being developed reportedly, this game is being developed by around 800 people. And that does not surprise me, with how much this game is trying to do while being free. Speaking of the price, it's also been confirmed to not be a gacha game, according to PC Gamer. Despite all appearances, the upcoming free-to-play open-world RPG Ananta isn't a gacha game, and it will only charge you for cosmetics and furniture, which is interesting. You definitely would have expected this to be a gacha game, and for you to have to pay for the characters and stuff, but no,
Definitely.
you can just unlock the characters by playing the game. There probably will be also a way to like fast track unlocking characters using money or something, but we'll have to wait and see. But the people who got their hands on the game at it wasn't at Gamescom. It was at Tokyo Game Show. Is where people got their hands on it. They said that it felt good to play despite the weird mixture of mechanics. And in the demo that they played, which some videos of it can be found on YouTube, it started with a melee combat tutorial that journalists said feels like the Batman games or Sleeping Dogs, and then it went to a GTA style car chase with some quick time events, and you got infinite ammo in your gun and you're just shooting at the other cars, and then you previously drive the car, and then they go into the open world where you could swing around as the first unlockable character called the Captain, which you can choose between two genders for them, and then after that they switch to a different character. The two other characters they could play as, also play as in the demo, in addition to the Captain, is a cop named Lakaya and a bunny girl named Taffy. As Lakaya, you can actually go around arresting people. And I don't know how to feel about that, but they showed it in the trailers, and you can just be a cop and just go around and wrongfully arrest people too. So you could be a real cop. And yeah, it's just this game's wild.
I mean, I'm not really surprised at that because I think GTA Online also has mechanics like that, but just the idea of like being an anime girl cop is so funny to me. Like there's so many options for this, and you choose to be an anime girl cop. Like that says a lot about you. If you choose to go down that route, I don't know, but I think this game looks pretty cool. Like it's not something I don't think I could see myself playing, but it does look pretty fun. I would definitely have like more fun watching other people play it, definitely. But I like it. It's got a cool art style also.
Yeah. It definitely looks like a game that I could enjoy if all of those mechanics actually manage to work well together. The game has been catching a bit of heat for potentially copying animations and mechanics from other games one to one without making enough changes to make it more original. And I kind of agree because Spider-Man may not have invented swinging, or no, Spider-Man did invent swinging is what I meant to say.
Right.
But Spider-Man doesn't own it. Other like things can do it. However, they do just straight up copies from Spider-Man swinging animations. And they straight up copy one of the symbiote attacks that Spider-Man does in the second game. Like 1-to-1. I saw it, I was like, that is just straight up a move that he does in the game. The whole animation and how it works is just straight up from Spider-Man 2. What is wrong with these people? What is up with these developers tempting fate and big companies into suing them? Like, y'all need to calm down.
Steal from someone tiny that doesn't
don't steal
have,
from
like, the
Disney.
Full force of right.
It's insane. Don't steal from Disney. Don't steal from Pokemon. Everybody knows this. They'll break your knees.
Don't steal from Nintendo. Don't steal from Disney, Nintendo, and there's one other big one, Warner Brothers. Don't steal from them either.
They will come and break your knees, okay?
For sure.
They will send Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse and Mario to come and break your knees.
Right, the Three Peaks combo.
But yeah, this looks interesting. I'm excited to see more and where it goes. And it's free to play.
Me too.
So I'll definitely try it out.
Yeah.
Lastly, in news, we have Ubisoft canceling an Assassin's Creed game set in the post-Civil War era America. It would have featured a black assassin who was formerly a slave fighting against the emerging Ku Klux Klan. Leadership canceled it after concerns with U.S. political climate and the Yasuke backlash from Assassin's Creed Shadows. Melon DeRouge on Twitter said it best. Can't have a cool game killing racist weirdos because we live in a country full of racist weirdos. This is very sad and disheartening to hear. The fact that
Mm-hmm.
leadership at a major corporation in France are yielding to racist Americans is insane. Okay, y'all be out there be hitting people.
Right.
Like, what's happening?
It's
And didn't like months
like, oh,
ago we
now.
see a bunch of like videos of people in France like being French and like protesting in like the best ways possible.
Right,
But like
exactly. Where's that fire? Where's that spark?
like being afraid to offend racists is crazy. What do you mean you're afraid of offending racist people? Who gives a
Right.
fuck?
If anything, we're the people. Those are the people we should be offending the most.
If
I
what
fear.
you make offends a racist, that's a good thing.
Right. That's an A plus.
Like, I think they're somehow convinced that the racists are affecting their profit margins. They're not. I promise you, they're not. Your games aren't selling as
Definitely not.
well. The reason your games aren't selling as well has nothing to do with the racist. It's not because they're not buying the games because one of the characters in the last game was black. They're just not buying.
It's like they weren't going to buy the games
Yes.
anyway.
There's other reasons why Ubisoft games aren't doing as well as they used to. And then it's not the racist. I can promise you that. Trust me. I bet you a lot of racist people would have bought this game despite their racism because it's a cool premise. Like this game could have been awesome. Even if it had all those
Yes.
stupid RPG mechanics that I hate in these Assassin's Creed games lately, it would have still been a good time just going around killing KKK members. Like, come on now, come on, that would have been great. Shout out to what do they call it, Machine Games and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Just going around killing Nazis. Good time. We need more games where we kill Nazis. Where's my goddamn Wolfenstein 3? Okay. We need Wolfenstein will save us.
Yeah, we need to strike the fear of God back into the hearts of these people.
We need to strike the fear of BJ Blazkowicz back into the hearts of these people.
I'm saying, you get me.
You racists will get murdered by a big buff blue-eyed blonde-haired man and you'll like it. Jewish man too. He's Jewish too. So watch your step.
Right, I'm saying. Don't piss me off.
Yeah, moving on to some reviews. I got into the Valor Mortis playtest.
Ooh, how was it?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh,
I was going to play it last night, but I just did not feel like it. So I'll play it before next episode, and I'll talk about it then. But goes to Yotei.
Okay.
I haven't played that. And the music continues to be so incredible. I've been so excited for the music after they released several tracks on music streaming platforms, and they're good. And yeah, the music in this continues to be great, and it's actually a game mechanic because the main character plays a shamisen, and you can play it at any time, and it has gameplay effects. So that's really fun. But
that's good.
Last time I was playing, I encountered a very frustrating boss fight that I realized I was making harder for myself on accident. So in the Oni boss fight, who's one of the Yotei 6, it was very hard. And the parry timing on his attacks felt unfair until I realized that I had on an armor that prevented me from doing regular parries and I could only perfect parry. And I was like, why? Why can I only parry this one move and the rest of them I can't parry? And I was like, what's happening? This isn't fair. And it turned out I just had an armor that prevented me from parry. But once I took that off, the boss was much easier. But I still turned down the parry timing from hard to medium, but left all the other settings on hard mode because I felt like the parry timing was just unfair. It's just not good. Fix it. It just feels like it's hard to time out, especially since it comes with an indicator, but the indicator isn't when you're supposed to parry. It's just telling you that it's an attack that you need to parry. It's strange.
Gotcha.
But can't say too much just yet until Krishna comes back because I don't want to spoil anything. When Krishna's back, we'll have a whole spoiler discussion about the game. But I did want to say that I'm having a great time. This is very much your average open world sandbox in a lot of ways, pulling from the standard set by Ubisoft. The trailers and interviews with the devs had me thinking this was going to be like a Samurai Red Dead Redemption, but it's not, and that's okay. It's still good.
Oh,
but it got me thinking, what would a Samurai Red Dead look like? A slow,
Mm,
methodical Meiji era Japan simulator. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Red Dead was
mhm,
about the end of the Wild West and outlaws in the late 1800s. And you're playing as a cowboy, going into a more civilized world. And coincidentally, samurais were also going out of fashion in Japan around the exact same time.
mhm,
The Tom Cruise movie, The Last Samurai, depicts this conflict. And I'd want this hypothetical game to take place in that same era and tell a story about a
mm.
samurai fighting against the changing times. But most importantly, I want the level of semi realistic simulation gameplay of Red Dead Redemption 2. Like taking care of a horse, hunting animals and skinning them,
Mhm.
and building a camp and cooking them and selling their fur. Having to stay clean, otherwise, people will react to the way you smell and you take more damage because you're dirty and your wounds get infected. Um, and having to maintain your weapons or they malfunction. Um, in this game, you'd have to, also take care of your sword. Otherwise, maybe it'll break or it'll, you know, do less damage. Like it gets dull and you have to sharpen it. Things like
Right.
that. And of course, this is late 1800s, so you'd of course have the various guns of the eras, the exact same kind of guns you have in Red Dead Redemption 2. The revolvers,
Exactly.
the rifles, and all that jazz. Um, and maybe you can even forge your own
And
weapons. That would also be cool.
so say, and that would lend to the story also because the whole like one of the reasons that samurai went out of fashion is because of the advent of guns in Japan. So like having that be a major like thing, like there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, I want Samurai Red Dead. And much like Red Dead, just pulls a lot from Western films. Um, as in cowboys, not necessarily, not the Western Hemisphere. um,
Right.
I would also want, of course, this samurai game to take inspiration from samurai films in the same way that Ghost of Yotei does. Well, Ghost of Yotei takes inspiration from samurais and westerns the same way that actual samurai films took inspiration from westerns and vice versa. So yeah, I want Samurai Red Dead. I don't know who'd make it, whether or not it's Sucker Punch makes um makes this game with the next or next Ghost game because Ghost of Yotei Ghost of Yotei takes place 300 years after the first game. Um and the next game could take place hundreds of years after Yotei and take place during the period that I'm talking about. And maybe they do go into more detail with all of these things. Or it could be Rockstar.
Mm.
Maybe they decide to take Red Dead Redemption in a different direction, or just make a new IP that's Red Dead Redemption, but in Japan. I would like if they did just go with because they've done a lot with the Wild West. I would like it if they just decided, you know what, let's go same time period, different country. Like
Mm-hmm.
this period of time in like India was also rife with, I think, like some conflicts that would make for an interesting story.
For sure.
Um, you could go to China. Like, there's a lot of places you could go with this story in this time period, the late
Hmm.
1800s, where just interesting things were happening in history that would make
For
for
sure.
some good conflict for a story, especially an action game.
Hmm.
Yeah, moving on to Hades 2. Um, I managed to
Yeah.
find some more time to play it in between Ghost of Yotei. And I completed a run despite the Valve rivals making the first two bosses difficult. But I want to hear from you.
Ooh.
I was gonna ask if
Okay.
you've
So
still been playing on Switch or you got it on PC, but you confirmed it earlier.
yes, so I'm locked in now. Like I said, the skill issue was definitely all mine. Because playing on mouse and keyboard now, I'm locked in, and I am having the most fun that I've had with a video game for the first time in a really, really long time. Like everything in Hades 2, like every time I die and go back to the start, it feels fair. It's not like a thing of like, oh, that was stupid or that shouldn't have hit me. It's like, no, I was in the wrong. And so, in that being inherent to the gameplay experience, it makes me want to try again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Right now, I think I'm on I'm gonna say my seventh run, and I'm making it consistently down to the second area. Which I'm trying not to spoil it too much, because me and my girlfriend are playing it concurrently. But
Are they in
made it
the
down to the
room? Because
second
I'm saying
area.
otherwise you could I want you to spoil it. I want to get into detail.
She's got her headphones on. I can totally talk about it. So I made it down to Oceanus. And actually on my first one making it down there, I made it to the boss. Almost beat it in one try. Almost came really close. No death defies, by the way. Just to flex a little bit. Made it all the way down there. Not a single death defied. And then died immediately. And I was like, dang, that's crazy. And then I unlocked the death defied, and that's been fun trying to push through. Hecate low-key been kicking my ass a little bit. I don't know. She fine as hell, but we got issues. Cause her that part of her boss fight where she turns you into a sheep, that's ridiculous and absurd. And the first you can? I tried and I get hit by it every time.
I think you have to dodge it like 4 or 5 times before it goes away.
Okay. Yeah, that's one thing about Hades 1 or Hades 2 over Hades 1 is that I'm gonna fuck up her name every time. Melinoe's dash feels a little slower than Zagreus's was, and so I have the muscle memory of Zagreus's dash in my head, and then it doesn't work like that, and I get hit.
I have to get used to that too. You're gonna get used to it eventually, but she's like focuses more on running, and of course you'll get boons that make you dash better and faster and more frequently from like Hermes and stuff like that, but you do have to get used to the fact that she's just not a dash heavy character like Zagreus is.
Yeah, definitely a very like stand and fight kind of, which I don't mind as much, but also like I said, I'm very used to my souped up like all the permanent upgrades and all that stuff, like the keepsakes. Like I'm used to my souped up, I like to call him roided up Zagreus. And so going back to pretty much square one with Melinoe has been a bit of a challenge, but a bit of a fun challenge. And like kind of relearning the basics. I've liked that a lot. So far, I have the spear, the twin sickles, and then I just unlocked the axe, but I don't really like the axe that much because it's very slow.
Well, I do have.
I think I just need to get.
I do have something that makes it faster. That's probably why I like the axe. But I did like the axe even before I got the ability to make the swing speed faster.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think I just need to get used to it before I like really start to use it again. But the twin sickles so far are my favorite weapon because it's like they're fast. They don't do a ton of damage, but it's more satisfying to me, honestly, to give enemies the 3-piece combo with them. And like I don't know, it's just I like the sickles a lot because it's like it strikes that perfect balance of like fast-paced gameplay, but not too fast because of like how Melinoe differs from Zagreus in that way. So that's been nice.
What other? Yeah, I was gonna ask what other gods have you ran into or other characters?
So far I have run into Hestia.
Great addition. That's a great addition to the game.
Oh yeah, totally. I love how with the shit she is, and like
also her design.
She's like the solution. It is. It's really great, and I like that she's like an old like the accent that the person. I know everybody in this game is pretty much British, but like the fact that they picked that particular dialect of British accent for her really really fits her. But I've met Hestia, I've met Hephaestus, I've met Selene, who's been like carrying me through my runs as of late. Nemesis, I have my sights on for Nectar as of the moment, even though she's mean to me. I'm like, I can fix her. I can fix her. She's my project right now. I've met Moros, but only once. But I did do the incantation to meet him again, so hopefully that happens soon. And your standard fare, your Demeter, your Zeus, your Poseidon, a lot of Artemis.
Yeah, even though I looked it up to be sure. Even though you can romance everybody, I had my eyes on Moros. Even though in the first game I was more Megara than Thanatos, in this game I was like, Moros. I don't know, man. They didn't have to make him look so good. They didn't have to do this to me.
They really didn't, though. And he's barely in it, or at least barely in where I'm at right now. And I'm like, how are you going to show me this beautiful man and then deprive me of him so quickly?
Why he got his hair draped over his horns like that? Okay.
Right. It's nefarious.
But yeah.
Yeah, overall, like I'm really liking Hades 2 a lot. I honestly like it a little better than Hades 1.
Oh,
but you didn't hear that
it's
from
been
me.
getting. I mean, everybody's been saying it. It's been getting 10s across the board. Everybody's like, it's just Hades 1, but better. It's good. It's a great game. But yeah,
It's
with
great. And
the
the soundtrack?
I was gonna ask you how you feel about Skilla and the Sirens.
I think they are hilarious, and I love their whole gimmick. Like I'm obsessed with it, and the music for it is really, really good.
The fact that you hear their
And I
song
like
as you're
that
going down is wild.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. Like I like what they've done with the soundtrack in Hades 2 because it's like it feels like a part of the environment rather than something over top of it. I will say though, Skilla and the Sirens are not my favorite track at the moment. My favorite track is one of the ones that plays in Erebus. I think it's called like Lost Souls, the one that has that like really funky drum in it. I like that one. That one goes hard.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it makes me excited to see the rest.
Spotify keeps trying to spoil me, and it
I'm
keeps
saying.
not Spotify. I'm on YouTube Music. YouTube Music keeps trying to spoil me and play the end credit song, and I'm like, I'm not there yet. Don't play the end
Oh,
credit
stop
song yet. It
it!
keeps trying to play. I hear it.
Don't
I
go
hear it.
there.
I hear it begin. Like I'll be listening to a song from Hades, and then it'll autoplay another song, and then I hear a song that I'm like, that is one of the singers on the soundtrack from Hades. But I've not heard this song. And I look at it and I go, oh, this is absolutely the end credit song. I do not want to hear this right now. I will hear it when I get
Get this
there.
out of here.
And then after I get there, I will listen to it over
Mhm.
and over again like I did in the blood. Actually, no. I think with Hades
Yep.
1, I didn't care. So I did listen to In the Blood before I
Mhm.
beat the game. But I also like played Hades 1 like way after it came out. So I
Right.
didn't care as much back then. But now I do. Since I've been playing this in early access. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'm gonna wait till I get there.
No. Exactly. And then like that in trying to find because the on Spotify on the other side of things the tracks are not actually in order of where they appear in game. Like they kind of are, but it's like the Hades 1 soundtrack in that way where it's like some stuff comes way later even though it plays way earlier. And so I almost got spoiled for a couple things and I was like nope,
Did you read the
don't do
name of
this
a
to me.
song and go, oh no?
I did. It was the name of a song. I'm like, no,
Look,
I know exactly who that
did they say the
is.
thing about the thing? I mean, you see the thing when you go out to go down. You see the thing.
What thing?
You go out to go down, you see a thing.
Right.
If you don't know the thing, I'm not going to say the thing. But like when you go to start your run, the area where you go to start your run, like by the door.
Right. I'm trying to think if I know what thing you're talking about and I'm just forgetting what it is. Because I feel like I do. I feel like.
Have they mentioned the thing? It's like the biggest addition to the game in comparison to the first game.
The thing. Oh my god, it's slipping my mind completely. I'm about to open the game and see.
Because I was watching somebody play, like, they had already, I think it was a reviewer who had already, like, no, he had already been playing it in early access, so he played more of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, had started a new run when the game came out to play on stream, and they talk about the thing pretty early, and you're 7 runs in. I feel like they might have said it.
They probably have, and I just didn't even notice. The thing.
Look, you'll know the thing when you get to the thing.
One thing I did like a lot was like, you know how you in Hades 1 you can like stand in like the corner of like an area and it'll give you like an overview.
Yeah.
When you do that back at camp and it does that like really far pan out to like the edge of Erebus, I really like that. That's like one of my favorite things.
Yeah, that's cool.
Wait, I remember what thing you're talking about, I think. Or at least something very, very close to it. Because I had a run-in with somebody who I think I know of. They didn't make it, like... They made it very obvious who it was supposed to be. But, you know, I had a run-in with them, and they asked me questions, and I was like, I know what you are. Don't get on my nerves. I've never seen your design before, but I just know. Just based on the way you're talking to me and how your silhouette looks. Don't get on my nerves.
Oh yeah, I always talk about that, but that is also cool. You'll get there when you get there.
Okay.
But if you don't know the thing, I feel like it hasn't been brought up because otherwise you would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Right.
Because it is like a major part of the game that once you unlock it, you're like, oh, that's what he was talking about.
That's the thing, yeah.
But yeah, Hades 2 is great.
Hades 2 is very good.
Aphrodite's boons are the best with the the twin blades because
True.
like her attack boons do like more close up damage. So like I feel like a lot of people be sleeping on Aphrodite's boons, but if you have a melee weapon,
For sure,
her boons are great.
Weak is like one of the best status effects in the game. It was good in Hades 1, and it's even better in Hades 2.
Yeah, for sure. And Hephaestus, another great addition, who just does big bursts of damage. Have you started like getting moves that enhance your cast? Because I know you weren't using the cast a lot before.
Oh, I'm using it. I'm using it all. I probably overuse it a little bit actually now.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite like setups that I've been getting a lot lately is getting Demeter on my cast, because like she has a lot of boons that will like inflict chill. But I had a run that went kind of crazy. It was like Helios. It was like the expanding boon that he gives, where it's like
That
your
one's
cast
great.
gets bigger.
That one's great.
And then I had Demeter's chill as like
yeah.
an edge effect on top of that. I was going crazy, okay?
Those two together are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have
It makes sense.
yeah, anytime you have a move that does damage inside the circle and the expanding circle from Apollo, it's great.
I said Helios. Definitely Apollo.
Yeah.
Also,
Sun
I love his
gods.
design. It's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, this game's great. I'm excited to talk more about it.
Very great. Very great.
But yeah, that's all I have. If you don't have anything else.
Nope.
You can find all of our ads in the link in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more storytelling content. And to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. Peace.
See ya.